All right, what is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Fourth and Wrong podcast. I am one of your hosts, Marshall, along with Colin, Dallas, and Donnie, finishing up Week 14 this last week. We have, I believe, 4 more weeks in the NFL until the playoffs start. We got a lot to cover. The Lions clinching a playoff spot, not the division yet, but they did clinch a playoff spot. The Chiefs clinched their division, and I believe other couple teams clinched playoff spots. There were some good games this weekend that we will cover, and then we will go into some smaller things that we're going to talk about, maybe even touch on the Heisman race a little bit, and then we will get into our picks for Week 15. So for Week 14, y'all gonna love this one. So we'll just go with the standings. In last place was a three-way tie for last place.
So
Or
a three-way tie for second place. That's how we should all take it.
Yeah, no, it's still last though because there's only So, but yeah,
hey, if you're not first, you're last.
Yeah, so last place consisted of me, Dallas, and Colin.
No fucking way, dude.
Donnie takes the dub in week.
What was the record?
This is my first winning week.
Donnie went 10-3 with the winning record, and me, Dallas, and Colin went 9-4.
Damn, one game.
What was the difference?
It is Donnie.
It was. I think you went Rams. I think you went Rams.
I think it was Bills Rams.
But we all picked different games. Like there were games that Donnie went solo on, I went solo on. It just happened to even itself out to be that close.
That's kind of wild.
Me and Dallas went Packers, and you two went Lions.
Oh yeah! Shout out to the Marshall curse being stronger than Dallas picking right.
No, Marshall curse isn't a thing. I broke that curse. I just
it's still a curse.
No, it's still there.
All right, I'll pick Lions.
Like the man
we'll
curse.
see what happens.
Oh, shut the fuck up!
All right, you guys want to be that way? We'll see what kind of curse is alive. We all picked Pittsburgh. They got the dub. Colin lone wolf the Giants, and they took the L.
That's crazy. People lone wolfing the Giants.
Hey, it was a 3-point game, all right. It wasn't that crazy.
Bro,
the Saints
but
suck.
It's the Giants. Like,
we all picked Miami. They won. We all picked Tennessee. They won. It was a split in Minnesota and Atlanta. Me and Donnie picked Atlanta. Dallas and Colin picked Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
We all picked Philadelphia. I lone wolf the Raiders, and they lost. Donnie lone wolf the Cardinals, and they lost. I lone wolf the 49ers, and they won. You all three picked Chicago, and Chicago got the brakes beat off of them.
That does not feel real. The three of us went Chicago.
All three of you picked Chicago, and I picked the 49ers, and it wasn't even close. That game was ugly.
It was a slaughter.
It was an absolute slaughter. That was ugly. It should just they need more than just coaching help.
I saw the halftime total yards graphic. It said if you would have left your couch and went to the fridge to grab a drink and came back, you would have had more yards than the Bears.
Yeah, it was 24-0 at halftime. That shit's wild. And then Donnie lone wolf the Rams, and they won. It was split. Me and Donnie picked Kansas City. You guys picked Chargers. And then we all picked Cincinnati. So, like I said, a lot of different games picked. It just kind of happened to even itself out to the point where we all just were really close. And then Donnie got that one game win that gave him the dub. So, but yeah, that's all for the picks. Now this week, I believe we are done with bye weeks. So we are back to 16 game weeks. As we can tell, we've got some double headers. I believe Monday night's a double header. Or at least one of them's a doubleheader. I know that, but yeah. So we can talk about a little bit about it's the Monday night. It's a doubleheader. We can talk about some of the games. Obviously, Lions Packers Thursday Night Football was a very good game, hard fought game between both teams. Came out with the Lions on top. Dan Campbell went, I believe, 5 for 6 or 4 for 5 on fourth downs. Having a great game. The running game wasn't as amazing as it would seem it should be. It honestly wasn't a huge rushing attack that game. But J-Mo had a great game. Our defense was It's hard to say like the defense is struggling when we have 13 defensive players on IR and like 5 of those guys are starters. So at least, I mean,
I,
Derek
I
Barnes.
was I was really impressed by the guys that stepped up though.
We've
Like
got backups that are making plays. I don't think that we realize like these guys are actually doing well
For
for us.
backups, they're playing amazing.
Yeah. But like we've got
with Muhammad there, 69. Me and Marshall were talking about it at the game. He's played outstanding for. I don't even know where this guy came from, but he was making like Josh Jacobs was getting through. There would be holes, and Muhammad would have him like in a one-arm tackle and was stopping him. Josh Jacobs like at a full speed. It's like that's impressive for any D lineman, let alone somebody who shouldn't be playing.
Jared looked pretty good. He did throw an interception, but honestly, not like the games where you have thrown him an interception. It's just a bad read, bad ball. Other than that, I mean, Jared was almost, 32 for 41, 283, and 3 touchdowns. I mean, he played a very good game, just had 1 or 2 bad balls here and there. Like I said, JMO had a good game. Tim Patrick with a legacy game. Obviously, his story is incredible. Obviously, coming into the league and having a very well first 2 or 3 season, putting up in a 1,000-yard season actually with the Broncos, and then tearing his ACL and then re-tearing his ACL the next year, and then almost sitting out a year. Basically, he just didn't really play, and then the Broncos end up releasing him. We bring him in at the start of the year with our loss of Josh Reynolds, and started off slow, but obviously a new receiver on a new team, you're not going to see much, but he has slowly been getting more and more catches every week, and this was finally his first touchdowns, and it was amazing. He got 2 of them, and that's kind of awesome. So so you love to see that. You love to see our third guy being brought in, especially with Khalif Raymond on IR. It just gives Jared Goff at least another guy he can throw to. Besides that, it was a good game. Came down to right there at the end. A big call by Dan Campbell.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
I was going to say that's been the big debate all week.
I'll touch on it first.
I'm pretty sure I know how we all stand, but that's been the big debate.
So my thing obviously is you should just obviously take the points there, but Nick Saban, probably one of the greatest coaches of our lifetime, said it himself. He said it on one of the shows. He talked about Dan's decision. He goes, in that scenario, Dan, if you go into that game with the game plan, I'm going for it on 4th downs. That's just how it is. You can't change that game plan with that little time left. And Saban said for multiple reasons. For one, that's your game plan. You trust your guys. You told your guys this was your game plan. If you go back on that, that makes you kind of look weak to them, and it just doesn't look well. When you trust your guys, that's just how it is. And I totally agree with Nick Saban. You already have that game plan. You trust your guys. If you trust your guys, that shows so much in character that he trusts his whole life with the whole game to those guys to get that first down. And obviously he's right. He can trust those guys. 80% on 4th down is very, very well. So and we have the team to do it. So I agree with Nick Saban. If you have your guys and you trust your guys, you stick to that. You stick to your game plan. And that's what Dan did. And that's why Dan is a good coach for this team. And when the best coach of all time says it, you can't go against him. That's just how it is. And so
coach, the greatest college coach.
He's still, but in terms of football coaches, he's
up there.
If you say greatest football coach of all time, that's top 5, no question.
Hey, but now that Bill Belichick is about to be the coach at North Carolina.
Oh my gosh, yes, you're right. They're about to win 17 national championships. The next Mitch Trubisky's coming. But yeah. In the scheme of things, I didn't think it was a great idea at first, but looking back on it, that's how he built this team. He's not going to turn back on that now. And someone said it, like, you don't see risky teams go to the Super Bowl. And, okay, I don't like that.
First time for everything.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't get that, but that's just how Dan runs this team. And obviously something's working. Being 12-1 it has got us to where we are. So I trust him, and I agree with Nick Saban on what he said, and we won the game. So
I guess I'll go next.
Or
Colin.
I was gathering my thoughts for a second. I had a tweet that I wanted to find because it had them. But Teddy Bruschi from ESPN was talking the other day on one of their talk shows and says, there's no more ankles and kneecaps to bite. You're on top. Start playing like it and start coaching like it. But what got the Lions to this point? It's their aggressiveness on fourth downs. It's their aggressiveness in play calling.
And you can't change that.
And why would they change that? Like, now that they're suddenly at the top, it's like, okay, let's settle back and like play like a regular team. Like, no. What got you to this point is playing the way that they're playing. Yeah. Why would they change that just because there's like unwritten rules about how you're supposed to play as the number one seed? Like, no, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I think that's ridiculous.
And then I also wanted to point out there was you mentioned Jared Goff, and Jared Goff had a crazy finish after that interception. After his interception, he went on to complete 17 of 19 passes for 148 yards and 2 touchdowns, and that included his final 13 throws. So he was 13 of 13 on his last 13 attempts.
Love to see it.
That's crazy. Jared Goff is cooking, man.
Yeah,
he is.
Anyway, that's what I got.
I kind of see both sides of the debate. I would say the biggest thing I would say is if Jared Goff didn't get that ball handed off,
oh my God,
this would be a completely different.
Well, that's a lot of what people are arguing is what the rule is. And
it's very obvious what the rule is. He didn't give himself up. He's not down.
The people arguing the rule are dumbasses.
Yeah.
But
the rule states put the knee down. It's like, oh my gosh.
Someone pointed out, so every kick or field goal should be no play.
Mocking Packers fans because they took a photo of the field goal and they were like, Packers fans would be like, "What? The play's over. He's better."
I never realized that point. Now is funny.
That is a good
Can you
point.
imagine one day the refs just like a new ref he hikes the ball and snap.
Just immediately blows it down.
He gave himself up, guys.
Nothing aggravates me more as somebody who like actively watches football every weekend than people who don't but act like they fucking know what they're talking about. A lot of these analysts you can tell do it, and a lot of just people who fucking make TikToks do it.
Yeah.
It fucking drives me.
I know we're all Lions fans, so like obviously we're like, those calls weren't shit. But like all of the Packers fans that are whining about the refs in that game and the calls or lack thereof in some instances, I just think that is like hilarious to me because the Packers, especially when it comes to the Lions, in so many recent games, get so many fucking calls. And now that they're on the losing end of it, it's like someone pulled receipts from the Trey Flowers game a couple of years ago.
That game was awful.
With the hands to the face that wasn't real. And a Packers fan saying, don't put yourself in a position to have to rely on the refs to win a game. And then they did the same shit this week and were whining about it all fucking weekend. And the same guy that was like, don't put yourself in a position to rely on a call. Like, it shouldn't matter. Like, you should win it with your play, not because of a call. Like, and then the same guy was like, why didn't we get these calls? The refs are handing the Lions a win, blah, blah, blah.
Maybe it's because I was there in person, but like, I'm trying to think back. Because I saw a lot of national analysts were talking about the calls in the games too, like questionable calls going against Green Bay. What fucking call was so big that like it was like a thing?
The offensive pass interference was the big one that people keep pointing to. They didn't think it should have been called.
What? Off the one that Christian Watson literally fucking bulldozed Kirby, whoever that was?
They were saying that was Kirby's fault because he ran into him.
Well, and then there was a different play. There was a different play.
Christian Watson does not even sell he's running around. He legit just fucking.
There was a different play where we also did the same thing and it didn't get called.
Yeah.
That's one of the big ones.
I know there was like a hands to the face on Jordan Love that didn't get called.
I mean, but both can say same ways, dude. That Terry Arnold pass interference in the end zone was not pass interference under any way.
It really wasn't.
You watch the play, that is textbook fucking coverage. Literally, he runs to the back of the end zone. Terrion sticks his arm out. He's not even touching his arm. He's holding it in front of him to deflect the ball. And Terrion turns his head. Wow! and then literally the receiver just like jumps into.
That's on the receiver. That's on the receiver because he ran to the fucking back of the end zone
Literally.
and then stopped, and Terrion like still is playing the ball. It's like it's not his fault that the receiver ran the route fucking shitty and he's now at the back of the end zone and can't keep moving. Like that's not
Yeah.
that's one that I'll defend it for. But like when I'm thinking of penalties that were bad or like questionable in that game, the only one that I can think of is towards the end when the Lions ran that screenplay and there was a holding call on it, and I think we ended up having to punt the ball to Green Bay or whatever came out of it. But it was like a 20-yard play that got called back. It's like, okay, that's questionable. That was something that like legit affected the ending. And that's the only one that I can think of that like is even questionable. The rest of them just seem fine, other than the Arnold, which is kind of like is what it is. Like it's 50-50, I guess you can call it. If they wouldn't have called it, I wouldn't have been mad. But did everybody give through their takes?
I was just gonna add, I saw in an interview, I think Richard Sherman said that Jared Goff was the one that convinced Dan to go for it because Dan was gonna kick. Dan was gonna
kick. Did you guys see that? Because I was gonna bring that up.
And yeah, Jared was like, "Wow, man, I really wanted to go for it." He goes, "Oh yeah, fuck it, let's go."
I love all the comments that I saw. Everybody in the comments was like, Dan really wanted to go for it. He just didn't want it to be his idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just waiting for
I'll go for it if you go for it.
Man, how crazy would that be?
If you watch it, Jared, like the clip that I saw, Jared literally like, he's standing there while whatever said, and it looks like Dan mouths the word kick. I'm not good at reading lips, but it looks like that's what he says. And Jared literally like you can see his face in this view, and he like turns his head so he's just out of view, and he unstraps his helmet, and then you can see Dan literally like his body language changes. He goes and fucking covers his mouth, and he's like fucking send it back. I was like, this man Dan is just
Dan's
so
like, I mean, I'll go for it if you go for it, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I'll do it if you want to.
I just want to know what Jared said, because you know this man Dan was like kick it, and Jared was like,
Jim and Jared's like, Dan, don't be a bitch.
All I imagine is Jared just going like, not strapping his helmet. Dan be like, fuck it, let's go for it. Like just fucking like Jared didn't even actually say anything. But no, if we're all good. So me and Marshall like looked at each other in the game, and we're both like, are we actually gonna fucking go for this? I'm not gonna lie. This would be the one that I kind of crushed Dan for a little bit if there wasn't a couple things going in his favor. One, the defensive injuries were so crazy, and I think I was talking to Marshall about this or somebody. It's not so much the injuries. Like at the beginning of the game, I feel like we're fine. Like we can, when everybody's good, we're good. It's the later half of the game when the backups are now tired, and it's like, okay, well, you don't have backups for the backup. Well, it's like these same guys are playing so many more snaps than what they should be. They're dog-ass tired by the end of the game. It's like, okay, that I feel like I didn't even think of that until this game. But, yeah, it's like, okay, these guys are so tired where, like, if we kick the ball off, like, they're getting in field goal range. It's not even so much that Jared's good, because that's what I kept fucking seeing media-wise, too, is like, oh, they were, like, Jordan Love was going to take him right down the field. He was playing so great. It's like, to be fair, I think most quarterbacks, I would do the same thing, just because it's like, it's not even the quarterback or the offense. It's so much the injuries on defense.
Injuries, fatigue, late game situation.
Yes. That's what I fear more than I fear Jordan Love or any other fucking quarterback in that situation. But no, and it's okay now, but that's the kind of call, like in a playoff game, that I could really see fucking us. Like that was a rough call. That was kind of, looking back, I saw a stat. The Lions are the only team in NFL history, and the stat goes back to like 2000. So I guess not in NFL history, but in recent NFL history, to be within their own. I think the ball was I think it was within their own 30. Maybe it was 40, but within their own 30, a tie game with less than like 2 minutes left. They were the only team to ever go for it in that scenario, because like everybody takes the fucking points. And
I love that. That's awesome.
I love the aggressiveness, but in a scenario where like the defense isn't literally the most banged up defense in fucking the NFL, like that's when he has to kick that. Like I love trusting the offense, and it works specifically there because, like I said, the defense is so injured. But if that was a normal game, like that's even though it worked out, like it still wasn't the right call.
I will say,
You know what I mean?
I'll correct you, Donnie. What if this was a playoff game or a Super Bowl game? Because you said a regular game. This was a regular game, low-key.
I meant playoff game.
Yeah,
I didn't mean regular. A playoff game, I don't like it. If it's the only caveat is if it's the Super Bowl and say we're playing Mahomes or something like, and it's one of those games, it's like, okay, like I would, if it's like 17-20 in a Super Bowl and it's kind of like a dogfight both ways, like neither offense is like going crazy and we go for it, I would be fine because it's like, okay, well, it's not a guarantee they get in field goal range. But yeah, like I said, that's the only reason I'm pretty cool with it is just because of how banged up the defense is, and you know how tired they fucking are at that point in the game. Plus, Aleem, I don't know if you guys have seen, but he was out with a head injury. Like he went and got looked at for it, came back in, and then now he's in concussion protocol. So I don't know if he finished that game. I don't know what the fuck's going on there, but I'm gonna assume he was probably not in the later parts of that game. So it's like you're missing that, and then I think Branch got banged up. So it's like the two good starters you have left are both fucking hurt. So it's like I understand it. I wouldn't have made the call. I'll just say it that way, I guess.
Well, good thing you're not a coach, I guess.
Your guys' responses were playing the results a little bit too much. Like if that wouldn't have worked, Dan would have got fucking killed.
I will say a lot of people blame going for it on fourth down, like for the NFC Championship loss, but it's the Lions' identity. So it's what got you there. It's gonna do it. It's tough. It's a tough.
It's one of those. Combo. I kind of look at it as like.
Also, Josh Reynolds caught the ball.
Yeah, that too.
I don't know how to exactly like say what I'm thinking. But, like, it's one of those things where when it's going good, it's going great. Like, it's going to fucking be amazing. When we're hitting them, it's going to be awesome. But, like, once the pendulum swings back the other way and we're not getting those, it's like, that's how we lose games like the NFC Championship.
So it's already happened, and we're still sticking to it.
You live by it and you die by it. But, again, that's where I'll come back to, like, if the defense was healthy, like, that's kind of the spot where Dan needs to start making some conservative plays. I'd not kill him for that one just because the defense.
To be fair, ever since I was a kid, I've always said 4th and 3 and shorter, or especially 4th and 2 and shorter, you gotta go for it. Like I watched a college game the other day. 4th and 1 on the at the 45-yard line. The other 45. You are 10 yards away from kicking a field goal, and they don't go for it, and you punt it. I'm like,
not in college. Not in college.
I don't care, dude. I don't care. 4th like and 1, dude. All you got to do is
just definitely understand it a lot more because like
4th and 1, man, dude. You are 10 yards away from kicking a field goal. It's like you gotta go for it. But
in college, it's totally different because like a good punter there. Like, in the NFL, if you're on the 45, like, okay, the punter's going to put them within the 10. Like, he's so fucking good. In college, so many of the punters are bad. It's like, what, you're punting for, like, a 20-yard difference? It's like you might as well fucking go for it and maybe keep the ball rather than kick it back to him and give him 20 yards in field position. You know what I mean? Like, that's what, yeah.
Okay, we don't matter. Dan's on top.
All right, what direction we heading in next?
Speaking of Dan Campbell, did you guys see the Dan Campbell lookalike contest over the weekend in Detroit?
Yeah.
Bro, someone was like,
the guy that won,
I thought
it was Dan Campbell. Like, when I first saw a picture, it was a video. They were just like panning across the stage, and I was like, this man snuck into his own lookalike contest.
I want to see everybody who's on that stage, their Spotify rap. Fucking Creed's got to be like number 1 on all the lists. That's immediately what I thought when I saw it.
100%.
The only other thing I can think of is I'm sending it into the group right now. I saw this yesterday or the day before. It is basically a game-by-game breakdown in terms of the number 1 seed and the division title. So basically, the Lions can lose any one game at these next 4. And they're pretty much good for the 1 seed and the division, even if that one loss comes to the Vikings in Week 18. And then obviously gives like rough percentages going down. Honestly, I don't know how you guys feel. I think we're all right as long as I think we got to go 2-2 in these next 2. I'm okay.
Yep.
I feel like we've been due, so I'll say that. But like these are good teams outside of the fucking Bears, but like that one's on the road. These are good teams. San Francisco even banged up, like they're a solid team. So it's not really like a detriment if they lose any of these two. Yeah, I'm very comfortable with pretty much that dead middle scenario. If we lose this week against Buffalo, then we drop to Minnesota, 82% chance to win the division still, and that gives us 60+% to win the 1 seed. I think that's probably the most realistic area to go. Yeah, I didn't know what you guys thought about this record going down the stretch.
I mean, obviously you want to win as many of these as possible, but I think if we were to lose 2 of these games, it's probably against Buffalo and against Minnesota. Mm-hmm. So I think that's probably the most likely scenario here. I don't really know where the fuck these percentages are coming from because there's so many variables outside of.
Like, this is definitely a rough graph.
Yeah, because there's so many variables outside of the Lions winning or losing that would determine that. You know, I mean, like the Eagles are.
I was about to say, if we drop this Bills game and Vikings win out, and we lose to the Vikings in that last game, they take the division.
Yeah.
More than likely.
Yeah, that's why it's a rough graph. I mean, in most of those scenarios, it has us beating the Vikings in all but one of the 100% chances of winning.
Which means that final game is slowly looking like it's going to become a primetime game.
Yeah.
The final game, the Vikings game, the to be determined.
Oh yeah. The only way that's not a primetime game is if we win the next 2 weeks and the Vikings lose the next 2 weeks. That's the only way I see. Because then it wouldn't be for the division. It's basically like, okay, is Minnesota hanging on to the 5 seed? Is basically all I'm going to turn into.
Yeah. I'm going to need somebody to start losing some fucking games, though.
Part of me doesn't even really want the 1 seed. I ain't gonna lie.
You're telling me not one
I would love
the
Lions.
I would be okay.
I would love that extra week of rest.
I would be okay with not having the 1 seed.
I'm usually like, I don't really want the 1 seed. I think it's better for teams to keep playing, especially if you're at home. In the 2 seed, usually you're playing a fucking dog shit team for the most part. You're playing the worst of the playoff teams in most cases. But I kind of want the 1 seed now just because of how many guys are injured. There's so many guys injured. And like even in this 10-day gap in the Packers and the Bills, like Pascal's supposed to come back. It gives time for Aleem. Like it's so, at this point in the year, that extra week is so more helpful than any other time.
I saw a thing that said that Hutch could make it back for the playoffs. I
saw the NFC Championship specifically.
I don't want him back at all. I really don't. Even if he's there for the Super Bowl,
I was going to say because you would have
yes, absolutely.
Victory formation.
We hit victory formation, put that man in, but I do not want him playing.
See,
if the Lions were to make the Super Bowl, you would have 2 weeks between when he could theoretically be back to rest. You still wouldn't want him to play in the Super Bowl? In the Super Bowl.
Absolutely not. It's not worth it. Bro is coming off an awful injury.
Hold on.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry.
I know you did not just say it's not worth it.
It would absolutely be worth it. You bring out every...
It's not worth it.
Listen,
that man broke the shit out of his fucking
First of all, we are selling out to win the championship this year. Like after this year, Ben John, Glenn's gone.
I don't know about that one.
You could go into that game. Tell me, okay, Aiden's gonna play this game and he's gonna be at 80-90% of what he usually is. Just throw that out there. But it means you're not gonna get him the first half of next year. I would 100% sign up for that shit just because it's the fucking Super Bowl. Like
I don't want him playing in a Super Bowl. I just don't think it's worth it.
Okay, would you rather have him in a Super Bowl? I would rather have him on one leg hopping around than fucking Pat O'Connor starting that D tackle.
Well, first off, Pat O'Connor played just fine. I don't know where this Pat O'Connor.
But he got Aiden Hutchinson.
And also, Hutch is not going to play a D tackle. I doubt it. So he would play the edge.
I meant the end.
And I'm perfectly fine with our DNs are okay enough. I don't want to risk this man Hutch's career being over.
His career is not going to be over. And I think we are selling short that this would be in a fucking Super Bowl.
I still stand by that.
That's why I changed
It's too soon. This man got injured in October, and he broke the shit out of his leg.
I don't care. I don't think he's realistically going to come back. I think he's too big of a guy to have a lower leg injury.
The hell?
That's pretty soon on Colin just fucking heading out.
Man, Colin made
bro is so ahead of the curve, man.
Bro said, I'm just going to get this in now. But no, I felt the same way you did because originally Colin and I think Dallas were both like, yeah, like I'd take him back for a Super Bowl, and me and you were like, no, like we don't want him back no matter what. Now that it's kind of coming down the pipe and like it's realistic, now I'm like, okay, like I will take him back for a Super Bowl.
Welcome back, Colin.
Hi, Colin.
My bad. Don't know what happened.
You are
you're just getting ahead of the curve and leaving without announcing it.
Yeah.
But no, I don't want him back. I think he just needs to stay on IR and rest out the year, and we'll get him back next year for our Super Bowl run.
I mean, I wouldn't want him back as like a full-time starter in that Super Bowl, but like on third downs, like yes, he can play 15 snaps at a high level. You know what I mean? That's the way I view it.
I'm good.
All right. Do we want to go college and then back to NFL, or
we can go
Heisman?
We can go Heisman.
Yeah, let's hit. Oh, do we not want to break down the playoff either?
I'd say we can talk about the playoff. Big combo there is pretty much just SMU Bama, right? I mean, I feel like a lot.
I was going to say that's kind of the biggest thing.
Okay.
Doesn't Tennessee play Ohio State?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys feel. That's the only game out of this round one where I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to watch that. Like, that's going to be a good game, but the rest of them, I'm not going to lie, I'm not really, like, rushing.
I'm not, like, super excited to watch it because it could easily be a Notre Dame blowout over them, but I am kind of interested to see if Indiana looks legit against, like, a real team, because the only real team they've played all year was Ohio State, and they got bounced by them.
That one will be interesting. Like, that one's one I will watch. I think that one's also going to be good, too, because of the crowd. Like, because this is in South Bend, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All these
honestly, Clemson, Texas might be good, because Texas hasn't beat a ranked team all fucking year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that might be good, too, but
I still don't understand how we started this year, and Donnie said 12-team playoff wasn't a good idea. 12-team playoff is here, and I still think it's the best idea college football's ever done.
I very much stand by that.
That 4 teams in this would have been so fucking boring. It would have been so fucking boring.
I think the thing that helps out with the 12-team bracket this year is there's no like clear cut, because there's no like clear cut 1 or 2 teams that are gonna win it. Like, there's realistically, out of these 12 teams, I would say there's probably like 5 that actually have like a legit shot. Whereas most years it's like, no, there's 1 or 2 teams that are gonna win the national championship, and it just like is like, okay, can they stay healthy enough to get there?
I think 12-team playoff is the best thing they've added to college.
Honestly, I really just think it's Oregon. That's it for me.
I think Oregon has the best shot.
I think Texas is up there. Honestly.
I think Texas and Oregon are the best.
Yeah, but like I said, Texas hasn't beat a ranked team all year.
Yes, and I agree with that. But this is the thing. This is what I was also going to talk about. I also think Oregon is Oregon and Georgia. I think, why is he doing that?
Georgia's not doing it.
I think those two are the best odds to win it all, but once you start looking at this,
chill out, Colin.
I don't know what the fuck is happening all of a sudden. My internet is not usually this bad.
Colin probably doesn't agree. I just said that I think Oregon and Georgia probably have the best odds to win. I don't know, like betting wise.
Georgia, it depends on what's going on with
Carson Beck. Yeah,
Carson Beck, because if he needs Tommy John, I was gonna say it sounds like he might need Tommy John surgery.
That, I mean, but then again, this is what I was going to get into. After, like, if we think, just say, for example, those two are the best 2 teams, and, like, those two have the best percentage chance to win it all. Once you start getting into how this bracket's going to shake out, it's like, okay, that changes, because Texas, yes, they haven't played any good ranked teams, but they're going to, or they haven't beat any, not played any, but they're going to play Clemson. Say they get past that. Then you got Arizona State, and then you're not seeing a great team until the semifinals. I think that's big. Penn State, they always lose these big games, but they're playing SMU. Then they're going to have
SMU at home. So SMU is coming from Texas all the way up to cold-ass Pennsylvania.
And then they'll have to go play Boise State, but I believe that's a neutral site game anyway.
I was going to say, those are all bowl games, the quarterfinals.
So they might not face a good team until the semifinals. And then Notre Dame even has a shot if Georgia's if Carson Beck really is out. I think Georgia could beat them without.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could see
Mhm.
Notre Dame getting all the way to the semis easy.
Yeah, just say realistically, like Notre Dame like wakes up and actually wins a big fucking game for once. Like if they turn it on, they have an easy route. Now it becomes so much more about not only like what your team is, it's about the route to get there. Because I think Texas,
I mean, Boise
Georgia,
State win it all.
I think Texas, Georgia, and Penn State really have like super easy paths to.
I think Penn State is fraud. They're not going to win. There's no way.
I think they're frauds too,
No.
but like SMU, and then they're playing Boise State. As long
Boise State will run through their bitch ass.
I think, don't they have a really good D line though? Isn't that like one of the things about Penn State is their defense is really solid?
But yeah, their defensive line is pretty good.
Not enough for Ashton.
Defense
So
is more solid.
one of their better units is facing the only thing Boise State has going for them. I don't know. I just think it's going to be interesting once you start looking at the matchups more so than anything.
Bowling Green takes them all.
Oregon honestly has the fucking shittiest draw in that first round. They're going to either play a pretty solid Tennessee team or Ohio State that's going to be motivated.
I think Oregon would smoke either of them.
I think they will too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like matchups wise, it's going to be interesting.
It does kind of suck. Like, I mean, you went 13-0, won your conference, and you're rewarded with
It's
the
one of
worst
those.
draw of the entire bracket.
That's why it's kind of weird they're not reseeding. You know, like I get it, but also
Yeah.
like, Oregon deserves to play what at worst case scenario or best case scenario Notre Dame. You know what I mean? Like they kind of deserve that. But so Heisman.
Yeah. I mean, it's really a conversation between the two.
Yeah, Dylan Gabriel and Cam Ward. So what do you
Yeah.
guys think about
Cam
but
Ward
no,
had it going for him. Cam Ward could have
we
easily
talked-
stayed in that conversation if they didn't lose the last two games that they did.
the last two?
Yeah.
They lost 2 of their last 3, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. But I think that I think it should be a lot closer than it is. Just knowing Heisman voters, I think it's going to end up being. Oh,
Betting wise is crazy because I believe
I'm
Travis Hunter's
favored by a lot.
yeah, it's like minus 5,000, which I don't know how you guys feel. I think
it was minus 2,000.
I saw
Minus
minus
2,000.
5,000. I saw minus 5,000 on a book.
It was minus 2,000 on DK.
Read a book.
I think it was FanDuel was minus 5,000. One of them was minus 5,000. I know I saw that for a fact. But anyway,
As it should.
Take a peek.
so
Travis Hunter should be the favorite.
Dallas, do you want to go ahead and start? I feel like
I think
was
it's
gonna let-
clearly Travis Hunter. Like
you think clearly.
I don't know about
I-
clearly.
I think
Clearly
it's
feels a little
clearly.
disrespectful to
I,
Ashton Genty.
I'll say this.
I think it's going to be Travis
Why do you
Hunter
think-
as much as I don't want it to be.
Why do you think it's clearly Travis? I guess I should ask.
I would because not only is he a top 5 wide receiver, he's a top 3 corner.
Okay, I didn't
Like-
find a Heisman bet because they took it off, but
They
You
did
know
take
what?
it off FanDuel.
ain't no way I just found a hypothetical games, and it's what the second round of the playoffs could be, and you can bet on that. That is the most wild thing I've ever seen. That is so
What'd you
crazy.
say it was?
It's hypothetical games. They're bets
So it's like
on,
Penn
on
State,
who's
they
going to be the
advance to
set.
play
So like Penn
Boise.
State, Boise, or
What those
Boise,
odds?
SMU, or Texas, Arizona State, or Arizona State, Clemson. Those are the games you
Depending
can bet
who you
on
wanna
those
bet on,
games.
those would be smart to bet on right now, honestly. You know what I mean?
Man,
But yeah,
Alright,
no.
go ahead.
Travis Hunter is a top 5 wide receiver in college and a top 3 corner, and corner being a top 3 hardest position in football.
top one.
I would say, me personally, I would say top 1. You could argue quarterback, but I think Travis Hunter clears easily.
You're the college football guy. I would say more. On
I
the
mean,
ball.
I just think that, I mean, record-setting season. This record has been for how long? Fucking Barry's record has stood. I think
Like 4
it's
years,
tough
something
because
like that.
any other year, I think
Fair
it's Genty by a mile, but Travis Hunter being in the conversation makes it so difficult, and he's got a lot of hype around him, and that's kind of the biggest thing is he's got all that exposure being at Colorado that I don't think a ton of people have paid attention to Boise State until this late season conference championship week, and a lot of Heisman voters already cast their ballot before this last weekend of games. So, like, I mean, that was what we learned with fucking Kenneth Walker, is that like it's ultimately like that last like month of the season is what determines like who the finalists are and who ultimately wins the award. And I think that any other year, Genty wins it by a mile. It sucks that he's going against Travis Hunter this same year. Personally, I think it should be Genty. I think that Travis Hunter is a great player, but like they keep saying, like, snaps aren't a real stat, you know? So like, great that he's playing both ways, and he is good at both positions, but like,
Not
I don't
good,
know, man.
great.
I think if you have a Heisman contender on your team, especially one that's playing both ways, I think you should be a little bit better than fucking 7-5. But that's my thing. I think a lot of it is media hype. He's not bad. Don't get me wrong. He's definitely a finalist.
They didn't go
and he's
7
probably
I was
going to
about
win
to
it.
say they
I was
got,
gonna say
they
were
got like 9 wins or
yeah, they were like not.
Weren't they
like
7-5?
No, they
I
were
think they
not.
went
They were
9-3.
like they were like 2. They only had 3
They
losses.
were ranked in the top 20 until like the final week.
I'm pretty sure they are ranked inside the top 20.
They're 9-3. They went 9-3.
Damn.
Yeah,
Why did I
thought-
think they only had like 7 wins this
I
year?
was a,
They
My
they
bad,
had 7
my
wins
bad.
in the conference.
I think I was. I
That's
think
probably
they-
what I saw, honestly.
I think
they went
lost-
0-20.
I think they lost like 2 of their last 3 games or something like that, because they were like up there in playoff discussion, and then
Yeah, they're ranked 23. They're in the Alamo.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
I'll go ahead. Let you finish.
I think that the media hype is going to be what hands it to Travis Hunter.
What if
and-
Colin just switched up? He's like, oh, they're not 75. Oh, they're just Travis Hunter by a mile.
Yeah, no. I'm still on
That'd be
the Genty.
crazy.
Just watching him, I mean, because one of the big arguments I see against Genty is that he plays in the Mountain West, which like not known for some great football teams, but he also put up fucking like 150 yards and like 3 touchdowns against, or not 3 touchdowns, like 2 touchdowns against Oregon.
I think it was more than 150 yards too.
So like, I mean,
I think it was
and that
a-
was, I mean,
close.
Oregon's defense is one of the best defenses in the country, and he was putting up crazy numbers against them. So like, yes, he's, you know, played in a cupcake conference all year, but like, I mean, at the same time, like he's still, what? Is that not accurate?
No, it's just the way, like, I don't know. It's just the way you said it.
But I think any other year it's Genty, no question. And it just sucks that he has to go against Travis Hunter for this, and I think it is going to be Hunter, even though I don't want it to be.
I was a huge. I watched a lot of, like, what was it, 3 years ago? I watched a lot of Destroying on YouTube, and where I first heard of this guy was Travis Hunter, was when he was in high school, and watching his tapes on Destroying's page, because Destroying, if you've never watched him, he would do Friday Night Lights. I think Dallas, you said you've watched him,
Yeah.
but he'll do Friday Night Lights, and he'll go to high schools and watch some of the top players. And he did it to Travis Hunter a lot. So him and Travis Hunter got very close. And this man was one of the craziest athletes I'd ever watched on it. And I was like, am I missing? Like, this guy's got it. And he was one of the best going into college. And I've been a huge fan ever since he was in high school. And I'm a huge Travis Hunter fan. But I also really like Ashton Genty. I really do. I think he is insane. I love to watch him. He's a beast. If the Lions didn't have Monty and Jahmyr Gibbs, I'd say do what you can to get this man, because behind our offensive
Fuck it,
line,
3-headed monster. 3-headed
Bro,
monster.
he
Oh
can
my
do,
God.
he can do insane things. So I like both of them a lot. I like Travis Hunter a lot. I like him more than Shooter Sanders. I honestly don't really like Shooter Sanders. I kind of think has a bit of an
Future
ego.
Raider.
Yeah, I think he has a bit of an ego, and he's a little overrated. But my opinion on who should win, I don't have an answer for you. I honestly
Cam
don't.
Ward.
That's a cop out.
But if I just pull someone crazy, I'm like, yo,
Who's Bowling Green's quarterback?
honestly, after watching that game,
Don't fucking started.
Connor Balzac, bro, Colin, you've never spoke the better truth. Connor Balzac should be winning. this
I'm
fucking
sorry? Who?
award. Terrion Stewart, Harold Fannin, any of those guys.
Tucker Gleason.
No, he's not on Bowling Green.
Yeah, Toledo, bitch.
Now, this is being completely honest. I can't pronounce his last name. I honestly forgot the name. But the running back from Arizona State,
Gabo.
Skibutu or whatever.
Skibbity, yeah, get his ass out.
Yeah, however you say his name. Bro's a beast, and bro put up a crazy good year. So the fact he's not in the finalist over like Dylan Gabriel is kind of wild. But I don't have an answer for you. I think both of them should win it. I really do. I think each.
They split the trophy in half, so give us your fucking take, Marshall.
I mean, that is my take. I literally could wake up one day
Gun to your head right now. Who you think?
You're not leaning one way or the other. I feel like people are pretty polarized on this.
Or like they're like me, where they're like they have the guy they want to see win, but here's who they think is going to win.
Even if you think it's 50-50, like you prefer one to the other.
I like both of them. I'm being completely honest with you guys. I just told you I like Travis Hunter a lot. I like Ashton Jeanty a lot. I think they both had the most incredible years. I think Travis Hunter is one of the best athletes we've seen come out of college football in a long time. But I also think Jeanty has had one of the most insane running backs years we've seen in a while. I just like a part of me is like, you gotta lean Travis Hunter. I was like, but Jeanty is just the year he had and the way he's doing. So I know it's stupid and it sucks, but I don't really have an answer for you. Like I can lean both ways in so many different regards. So I think whoever wins it, I think deserves it. I think they both deserve it. It just sucks they're going up each other because I think you put them against each other in any other year. Who won the Heisman last year?
Daniels.
Yeah, it was Daniels.
I think either of these guys win it over Daniels.
Yeah, last year's Heisman race was like Jaden Daniels is great, but I think last year's Heisman race was fucking weak as shit.
I think you beat
if either of these players were last year's contenders,
I think
it would have been.
You could take the last 10-year Heisman winners, and I think you put Hunter or Jeanty over any of them. You could probably pick 50% of them and put either of these guys over them. That's how good of years they're having. I don't know. Like, if I had to really give you one, I'd maybe say Travis Hunter, but honestly, I could wake up tomorrow and tell you Jeanty. I really could. Because if it could be Jeanty, and I'd be like, he deserves it. Or it could be Hunter, and I'd say he deserves it. So they both deserve it. And I'm not really leaning one way. That's just how it is. I know that's lame, but that's just how it is. I love both of them. I like both of them. I like both of them really. Like you said, Colin, I prefer this guy to win. I like them both equally. I think they're both amazing. Like Hunter,
okay, real quick. This man is double fisted right now. Hey, they both should win.
I'm just saying. I've been watching Travis Hunter.
If you don't have an opinion, can you respectfully wrap this up?
Like I just said, I've been watching Travis Hunter since high school, and Jeanty has had put together one of the most awesome highlight tapes every single week that we love to see. And then the whole
I saw someone try and say he was a long run merchant. Like that was a fucking real thing.
Bro's
like, he's just good at his position. Someone was like, that's like saying Steph Curry's that was like saying Steph Curry's a 3-point merchant. Like, what are we saying?
Bro's a football merchant. Let's be real here.
That's crazy. I've never heard that in my life.
The fact, Travis Hunter's so good, he's playing both sides of the ball. Jeanty's so good, he's got people doing the Michael Myers stance, the fucking stand up straight, which I think Gibbs did that before Jeanty even started doing that. We pulled up some old tapes, but yeah, I mean, I think.
All right, you got 30 seconds. Wrap it up.
I think either of them should win it over Gabriel and Cam Ward. I do think Cam Ward, if he didn't lose those last 2 games, I think he'd be in the conversation. I really do, but that man really I don't know if it's the Miami team or him, but they choked that, and now they're not even in the playoffs.
I can't wait for Jeanty to somehow finish third in voting and have everyone be so fucking pissed.
I saw a meme with Cam Ward. Someone said you're in the Heisman race and you were in the playoffs all year, and now bro's playing in the Pop-Tart Bowl. Like, you played all year and bro is playing in the Pop-Tart Bowl. Bro was literally thinking, all right, national championship.
Maybe don't lose to Syracuse. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh shit.
You're playing in the Pop-Tart
Syracuse
Bowl.
Or who's the other one? Was it Georgia Tech that they lost to?
Yeah.
I
think it was.
Yeah, Georgia Tech. But yeah, I was gonna say if they beat Syracuse, they're in the ACC championship, and Clemson was the team that replaced them. So I mean, transitive property is not real, but you kind of think about it. Like, Clemson won that game. Does Miami win that game if they're there?
Yeah, they lost to Georgia Tech. So they lost to Georgia Tech, Syracuse. They lost that Georgia Tech game was ugly. But I mean, most of these games, their defense fucking.
That's also the thing that does kind of suck about the 12-team playoff is that a lot of these games that would have been like good bowl games for these good teams that narrowly missed out on the playoffs they're bumped down to like the fucking Cheez-It Bowl and the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Yeah, they're
because
playing
all
Iowa
of the
State
names are the fucking college football quarterfinals.
He's in Pop Tart Bowl.
They're playing. I just looked. They're playing Iowa State in the Pop Tart Bowl.
Yeah.
Both teams were competing
It's
for a
not
playoff spot,
I
and now
think-
they're playing in the Pop Tart Bowl.
Now that we're done talking about the Pop Tart Bowl,
Goated.
so it's all right if you don't have a take, Marshall, because I feel like I got one. For
I
you.
already know who you're rolling with. I predict it like the back of your hand.
Dylan and Gabriel. No,
Yeah, no, you're a Genty guy.
yeah, I'm trying really to not like just be disrespectful, I guess is the word, but I don't really know
Be
how
very
this.
careful.
I don't know how this is that big of a discussion. Like,
No,
As you-
I do. I
as
mean,
you-
I get it.
like I get
It's
it.
always going to be a discussion.
I think I'll say it this way. I think if you took media-driven narratives and like it took those away, and even I guess to a sense, like I guess took away like highlight plays, like the just basically like what media drives. If you were to take that away, I feel like Genty like runs away with this because like
I don't.
Like-
you guys are really. I think you guys don't realize how
I just think
much
like,
of an athlete this man
I
Travis
think
Hunter
Travis
is.
Hunter. I think Travis Hunter is a really good athlete. I think, like in the NFL, I like what like Taysom Hill does. I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I think people who are that athletic to do both like needs to be celebrated more, and teams don't lean into that shit enough. But like, I just think Genty like he's gonna probably break Barry's record. Like he did great, and yeah, he plays in the Mountain West. But like
Wasn't-
how
I thought
like-
Barry's record was only regular season stuff, or is it playoff games?
No,
the
it's
playoff-
it's
Yeah.
postseason included, and he also
But
played in 14
to be
games
fair,
that year.
I would say to be fair, what did Barry? Wasn't there something like Genty's going to play in more games? Is that what it is?
No,
there-
I think he'll play in one more game,
Okay, so he's
but he
probably gonna
also
break-
has significantly fewer carries though.
yes,
like,
that is
that's the
thing.
big
That is-
thing.
that is a big thing for me
Hey, what
because
can we say? He's a long run merchant.
Because
man.
even though he's played in that many games, he's
he
only
hasn't played the full
finished.
game.
I was gonna say he's only finished like 6 of them. Like he's
That's
been up
kind
like
of what I'm remembering.
30 to
Like,
nothing in most of those games, and so he's only
I-
played the first half and like half of the games.
Yeah. That's one of the things I wanted to bring up. I don't know if he ended up not finishing in the lead, but I know as of like a week or two ago, he wasn't even the lead. He wasn't even the NCAA leader in carries. To do what he was doing, and like you would figure his carries would be like way above everybody else. The fact that like he might not have finished first.
That's what
He is
prompted the
currently
long
first.
run
I just
merchant.
looked it up.
Was he first? Because I think it was Army's quarterback or running back or whoever it was. I think it was the Army guy who was the one that,
He,
Uh,
344 attempts.
which is a lot of attempts, but also when you're an entire offense, like I get it. But no, I think Travis Hunter's awesome. I think the highlight plays are crazy, but I just think Genty is just when you break a record that stood for so long, like I think it's one of those things. I think if I saw somebody say in a comment, if Travis Hunter gets the Heisman, then Taysom Hill should win like every NFL MVP. And I'm like, okay, that's a little bit far.
That's
but like
extremely far.
Yeah,
what are we
that's-
even talking about here?
That
I
is
get this
apples
that-
to
And
oranges.
Taysom
yeah.
Hill doesn't put up
I get this
anywhere near
that-
the stats that Travis Hunter putting up.
I don't know. I try to think of it as like, say Travis Hunter didn't play both ways. Like if he was
Yeah.
just wide receiver, do you think like he would be such a good wide receiver that he would be in the Heisman talk?
Yes.
I don't think so. And then I think if he was, I don't think so.
Yeah, he
And then I
would.
think if he,
If he was a
It could-
top 5 wide receiver while also playing corner, imagine if he was strictly playing wide receiver.
Yeah. You got to think about it like that. I just looked it up. 1,100 yards and 14 touchdowns as a wide receiver, 4 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, and 15 pass deflections as a cornerback. And
I think
they only I saw a stat. They only threw it at him in like 40% of the time. That is ridiculous. And
like I
you
said-
watch the interceptions; they are insane plays.
I think he's one of those guys like we've all went to school with somebody who's just like a crazy athlete, and he's just like the highest version of that person that we all have met throughout life.
I mean,
But-
he's a new Deion Sanders. Is really how it is. It's
I think that's a little disrespectful.
what he's going on. I mean,
Charles Woodson.
something like that. I mean, Deion has already said he's like, yes. I mean, he's just doing what I was doing.
I think, like I said, I think Travis Hunter's awesome. He's going to be a first round
He's your
pick.
Detroit Tiger.
We'll see how.
Tiger.
We'll see how.
the Deion reference.
The
Deion would play
Deion, yeah.
baseball.
It took me a second too.
We'll see how it goes in the pros. I don't know how it's going to work out there, but I just think I just think Genty's that guy. Like, I think he is amazing, and I just don't get how. I could see if Travis Hunter was playing both ways and he had like fucking like 2,000 yards receiving or some crazy shit, and it's like, okay, then yes.
Okay, that's. I mean,
what's the NCAA single season record?
I don't know. Bro's not Superman, but okay.
What'd you say?
I said, what's the single season receiving record in NCAA?
Oh, I don't know.
But that receiver also didn't play cornerback. That receiver would set the bench on defense.
Hey, calm down. I'm assuming that record's got to be around like 1,900 to 2,000 yards. I would assume.
Probably.
So for him to get 1,100, I feel like that's like a pretty solid season, but I don't think that's top 5 wide receiver season. I think.
Okay, but he was a top 5 wide receiver in college football, and he was also the best cornerback in football.
2060 by some motherfucker from Nevada.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I think he's a great talent. I think he's awesome. Who knows how it's going to work in the pros, but I think
he's probably the number 1 pick.
I think number 1 pick's kind of crazy. I'm not going to lie. I think he's
most definitely.
I think for
Travis Hunter,
he's definitely the best player.
Who has the pick?
He's the best player.
Say, I think it does ultimately depend on who has the pick, but I don't think he'll be first.
Okay, it's like a thing where it's like I think
he'll be top 5 for sure.
Like I think Genty could win the Heisman, but I do think that Travis Hunter is without a doubt. I do have an opinion on this. I think he's without a doubt the best player to pick in the draft. He's the most safe player to pick. Like you could pick if you're looking at every player in the draft.
Safe,
he is the best player to pick. He is the best player by far in the draft.
I guess mentally, like the way I'm thinking about it, it's like he's going to be a weird person to talk about in draft coverage because like he can't play this many snaps in pro football.
He's not going to play both ways.
He won't.
But then like, wouldn't you say he loses some of his luster then? Like,
no,
because he's still good at both positions. Whichever one you stick him at, he's going to be good.
I think what makes him so innately special is the fact that he plays both ways.
But Deion did it, and then Deion stayed corner.
I think it's okay, but like we've had fucking Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, all these top wide receivers come out. They weren't combo for like the number 1 pick, like what Travis Hunter.
They didn't play both ways. I don't.
Yes,
every time you talk about it, they didn't play both ways.
Yes, but he is not going to play both ways like this in the pros.
I know, but he is the best athlete all around. He can do whatever you want.
And I don't think in the pros he's gonna. I think you're thinking like, okay, it's gonna go from what he's doing now, and it's just gonna get like cut in half. I think it's gonna be like he's going to play one, and then the other one he's gonna play like 15 snaps a game. Like I don't think it's gonna be like, oh, both of them just drop a little bit. I think he's like gonna have to pick, and then the other one like
is. And they already have said that he's gonna just play one side of the ball. But it's the fact that he can.
And it's the fact in the NFL. It's the fact in the NFL, like
he's gonna play corner. He's gonna inevitably play corner. He's gonna play cornerback.
Okay, if he plays corner, whatever he plays, like it's a little bit. I feel like in college you can kind of get away with.
Who? Okay. Answer me this: who is the number 1 pick? Because I don't think there's a player that goes above Travis Hunter.
Until like we get into draft coverage,
it'll probably be a quarterback. Honestly,
I would say I don't really have any.
It'll depend on.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. It's like I know that there will be a quarterback that goes above him, but is there a better athlete than Travis Hunter in the draft? Is there a better player?
Non-quarterback.
No, just in general. No. In general, even quarterbacks included. Is there a safer pick than Travis Hunter? Because I think Carson Beck.
I don't really watch.
I don't believe in Carson Beck, honestly.
I don't believe in a lot of quarterbacks coming in. Cam Ward, Carson Beck, Quinn Ewers, Shedeur Sanders. I don't think any of those guys are like a Trevor Lawrence. I think Travis Hunter would be a safer pick than any of those guys.
I don't know. I think honestly, like he's not going to be a top pick, and who even knows where he'll go. I think if you're going for like the safest pick, I think Ashton Genty's going to be the safest pick. Like it's not like
that's now we're just being.
If you watch his fucking shit, like if you watch his like, his vision is gonna translate. It's not like he's just like faster than everybody else.
He is not this.
A running back's not gonna change your franchise.
Yeah, he's not the safest.
That's not what he said though. He said safest pick.
I said, who is the best player in the draft? Who is the best player in the draft without just looking straight on paper? Who is the best player to take at the top position? You know he's going to perform, and that's Travis Hunter. None of the quarterbacks are stunned me out.
I'm not going to respond to that just because I feel like there's so many ways you could take. I think if you're asking me right now who the first overall pick is going to be, I think it's going to be Shador because I think the Raiders are going to get it.
But okay. You look at the big board.
Yeah.
You look at the big board. Athletes.
Yeah.
Who are the top athletes coming out of the draft?
I've tried saying this 6 times through you talking. I'm not going to know until I start like watching prospect
Maybe you should
stuff.
start watching some college football.
I don't watch it. I watch college football, but I'm not watching specific players. I'm just watching. Okay, what teams are good? What's the good
Man's
matchup?
out of the loop.
No, like just
No. Obviously you are.
once I start seeing like film breakdowns and shit, then I'll be like, okay, this is who I would pick. This is who I want the Lions to get. That's like asking me, who do you want the Lions to draft right now? I don't fucking know. Are we trading up to number 2 for Travis Hunter? Like, what the fuck is this?
You should know that answer.
should.
I know that answer. I have an idea. I was going to shoot it before the pod, but I can shoot it right now. To speed up so we can talk more about football and maybe cut down a little time on the podcast, we need to find a better way to do picks. Picks takes up so long. So here's my 2.
What the fuck do you mean?
I'm sorry, what?
I said it's the only thing we constantly do to actually like talk ball.
Yeah,
what do you
so
mean?
Well,
figure-
I think
on days like this, because there are times where it also doesn't help that we get a pause from you every time before you pick. And
I was
at
just gonna
least
say that.
5 seconds to pick. Then we get stuck
Man,
on
I don't
arguments.
know. I don't know
We get
about this
stuck-
one.
We get stuck on arguments each pick. We can do it regularly on podcasts where we don't have a lot to talk about. But these podcasts, these Heisman arguments are good football talk. So obviously, when we do these picks, we're going to go on for a while. So on these ones where we go so long, here's my idea. Each of us pulls up the games, and we just go down the line and list every game. And then the next person does it, the next person does it, the next person does it. Yeah, because that way, it just gets it quick. So Colin, you just say, all right, Rams 49ers, I think this and that, boom, boom, boom. You just go down and name them. I think that cuts our time on how much we spend on picks down to quite a bit.
Yeah, I'd agree.
If you guys like it, we can try it this episode, see how it goes. If not, we don't have to do it. It was just
Let's do it.
Dallas, you were going to say something. I saw you.
I was gonna joke around. No, I was just gonna joke.
So it's like I said, there's days where it's like, all right, well, there's nothing else to talk about. Well, let's go into picks. But like once we get into these, like, and then playoffs, obviously.
I mean, it's already almost midnight and we haven't even gotten to picks. So
say exactly. We've been starting since 10:30. So Colin, just go down the list.
all right. Rams at 49ers. I think I'm going to take the Rams in this one. Commanders at Saints. Give me the Commanders. Chiefs at Browns. Give me the Chiefs, no question. Bengals at Titans. Give me the Bengals. Dolphins, Texans. Give me Texans. Ravens, Giants. Give me Ravens. Jets, Jags. Give me Jags. Actually, hold on. Scratch that.
Oh, run it down.
Yeah, give me the Jags. Cowboys at Panthers. Give me the Panthers. Buccaneers, Chargers. Give me the Chargers. Colts, Broncos. Give me the Broncos. Patriots, Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals. Bills, Lions. Give me the Bills. Steelers, Eagles. Give me the Steelers. Packers, Seahawks. Give me the Packers. Bears, Vikings. Give me the Vikings. And then Falcons, Raiders. Give me the Falcons.
Yeah.
All right. Rams, Niners, give me the Rams. Commanders, Saints, give me the Commanders. Chiefs, Browns, let me get the Chiefs. Bengals, Titans, give me the Bengals. Miami versus the Texans, give me Miami. Ravens over the Giants, give me the Jags over the Jets. I'm also going Panthers over the Cowboys.
Yes, sir.
Who'd you say for Jags? Sorry.
Jags.
Okay.
Let me get the Bucks over the Chargers. Let me get the Broncos over the Colts. Cardinals over the Patriots. Lions over the Bills. Steelers over the Eagles. I'm going to go Seahawks over Green Bay. Vikings over the Bears. And give me the Raiders over the Falcons.
Wow. I know Kirk is ass, but
right.
that just seems a little disrespectful.
He is ass.
As much as I love Kirk, I did see a stat that ever since that swag and surf game, bro's 0 touchdowns for 8 interceptions. And
9. It
crazy.
turned into 9.
I'm sorry, I turned into 9. Okay, give me Rams 49ers. Give me the 49ers. Washington, New Orleans. Give me Washington coming off a bye. Uh, Kansas City versus Cleveland. Yeah, give me Kansas City. Even though Jameis would be the guy to win this game, absolutely. Cincinnati at Titans. Yeah, give me Cincinnati. Miami versus Houston. Uh, it's in Houston. I'll take the Texans, even though I feel like Miami's on a hot one right now, and they're just winning games with Tua back. Ravens Giants. Give me the Ravens. Jets Jags. Give me the Jags. Panthers. You both went Panthers, and it's like I was Bryce Young, man. That's my guy.
Do it because you know Donnie's taking the Cowboys.
I'm going Panthers too. Bucks Chargers. Give me the Chargers. Colts Broncos. Colts are, I feel like, are also on a small run, but I'll go Broncos. Patriots Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals. Lions Bills. Give me the Bills. I'm gonna take the Bills here.
That curse.
Steelers Eagles. Give me the Steelers.
Man, thought you were testing it this week, Marshall. What's going on?
I thought you were going Eagles for sure, Marshall.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just felt like you picked the Eagles.
I have a reason.
He's got to go with his boy.
No.
George Pickens.
I have a reason. I do love George Pickens. I have a reason for going the Steelers. I have not told you guys this reason yet. I can't after the podcast, but Donnie knows the reason. But I gotta go Steelers here. Packers versus Seahawks.
This is a Marshall curse kind of situation.
It's not. It's a different situation.
A much lesser deal than what he makes it.
Not really. I mean, you haven't even heard the second part of it. I'll tell you guys after this, but I'll just be jinxing it. Packers, Seahawks. The Lions just don't get any help. I'm gonna go with the Packers. Bears, Vikings, again, no help. Going Vikings. And Falcons, Raiders. I'm gonna go Falcons. I'm not going Raiders. You ain't gonna catch me doing that.
All right, I'll go Rams over Niners, Ravens over Giants, Jets over Jags.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Hold on.
We're going out of order.
Now are you reading this off like FanDuel or something?
ESPN.
ESPN. Yeah. See, I just go on Safari. Yeah, I go on Google, and they have it in the order that I wrote them down in, which Colin reads them off in. And so you got me all over the paper. You're fine. Just maybe talk about your pick for a second. Give me time to find it on my paper.
Slow down a little bit.
You can want us to rattle off picks, and then I'm rattling off picks, and now
you're not going in order. I gotta look for it.
Hey, we weren't expecting that.
Let's find the motherfucking game, bro. I don't even know where I was.
You said Jags.
I don't know you were either.
Jets over Jags.
Mm-hmm.
Jets over Jags, I think is the last thing I said.
Yep.
Give me Panthers over Cowboys.
Ooh, wow.
Bryce
Shocker.
Young believer right here.
Hey, I'm glad that he's jumped on the Bryce Young train.
No, I just think the Cowboys fucking suck and they're on the road. But okay. Give me Commanders over Saints.
I got salty.
Bengals over Titans. Chiefs over Browns. Let me go with the Dolphins over the Texans.
Ooh.
Broncos over Colts. Cardinals over Patriots. Man, this one's tough. Give me Chargers over Bucks. Eagles over Steelers. Fucking Lord, this one says. Give me Packers over Seattle. Vikings over Bears. I'm also gonna go with the Raiders over the Falcons, and then Lions are unfortunately due for a loss. Give me the Bills.
Okay. Yeah, I don't we don't have to, if on podcasts where we just aren't spending that much time, but I had been thinking of this idea for a couple weeks. I saw it was like 11:45. I was like, bro, we've been already going for this a lot of time.
Yeah.
On days like that, I feel like we can do that. You guys can still talk about the picks after, especially with Collins. I was like, oh my gosh, Ramsey said this and this. I'm like writing them down fast. You guys can still
I was trying to slow down over the course.
We would be on week 4 by now. our week 4. We'd be on game 4 by now. So it's like, and like we just saved a bunch of time. We have time for some trivia, and it gives us days where we are actually arguing good football topics, like the games, and then the Heisman race, and then the college football playoffs. That's good content. So I'm okay with taking some time out of picks to talk about that. So it was an idea I thought of. We can use it more often. I can tell you guys what Donnie was saying. It's not a big deal, and I can explain it real quick. You can cut this out of the pod, Dallas. I'll explain it real quick. So I have okay. All right, you don't need to say that.
One of those "we'll be right back" graphics over it.
Yeah. So I have an 8-leg parlay going on right now.
Oh God.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, come on. You guys, once you guys hear, I think you guys.
You were acting like the fate of the universe was
Shut
on your
up!
pick.
I said it was a big deal.
You kept saying, God, I can't tell you guys what I'm doing.
It's gonna get you
but
like 20.
Because I don't want to jinx it.
You're picking the Steelers.
No, it's a good bet. It's
Colin,
just-
mute
it's
this man.
just
Colin,
bet.
mute this
It's
man.
bet.
Press the button, Colin.
I'll allow it.
It's an 8-leg parlay. I placed this back in August of this year. It is all of the division winners. Okay. I had the Bills winning the East. That is already clinched. I have the Chiefs winning the West. That is already clinched. I have the Texans winning the AFC South. I have the Ravens winning the AFC North. I have the Rams winning the NFC West. I have the Eagles winning the NFC East, the Bucks winning the NFC South, and the Lions winning the NFC North. $5 pays out $6,800. And 2 legs are down. The Texans are going to win the South. The Eagles will probably win the East. The Lions hopefully should win the North. The Bucks are in the lead for the South. The Rams are 1 game out from the West, and the Ravens are 1 game out from the North. So that's what I'm saying. It's a big deal. My cash out right now is at $380. So why I said I'm taking the Steelers over the Eagles is because I need the Steelers to lose. I really do for the Ravens to jump into that spot. So if I pick the Steelers on the pod, at least I'm getting a pick right. If the Steelers win, gives me something. It's a small little hedge in terms of the pick, but it's not that big of a deal. But I mean, $6,800. I don't know about you guys, but that would be nice kind of money. And so literally, I'm both like for the Rams and Ravens. I'm 1 game out. Like both those, if the Seahawks lose this week and the Steelers lose this week, and Ravens win and Rams win, all these are hitting as of now with 4 weeks left. So it's yeah, I'm not taking the cash out right yet. I'm gonna let it ride. I think we'll see what happens.
I mean, you might as well just let it ride. $5,
Yeah.
being out $5 versus
kind of a wild bet. So we'll see what happens. The cash out really went up in the Chiefs won the division. Hoping because I believe. No, that's not true. I thought for some reason the Lions. I was thinking the Vikings had less wins than they do. I know the Texans can clinch in like a game or two. I know the Eagles could clinch, I believe, with a win and maybe a Washington loss. So we'll see what it goes up to. But yeah, it's not that big of a deal. But I mean, six grand would be nice. I don't know about y'all. Maybe Donnie's just rich over here, and he just $6 grand. Make that.
I'm not saying because of the fucking money. I'm saying because every time you made a pick, the last like 2 or 3 weeks, you've been like, guys, I've got something major cooking. I almost stood on my seat. I literally went. Bro had bro had fucking nuclear codes. And,
all I said was
US's nuclear codes.
Roll the tape. Roll the tape. All I said last week was, I'm picking these for a certain reason. That's all I said. I didn't put my pen down. Guys, you don't understand. And I looked the camera in the eyes, like, chill the fuck out.
Same vibe.
I hope I hit this, and then I'm gonna send you $1 and tell you fuck you. Roll trivia. I'm gonna beat everyone's ass in trivia, or whatever this is.
All right. We're gonna do the 10K challenge. Marshall, you know what it is.
Oh my gosh.
You think that's good, Marshall, or should we?
No, I do think it's good.
Okay.
I do think it's good.
All right.
No, I laid my head back for a whole different reason. I laid mine because the when you said it, honestly, I didn't even think about the challenge. You said the 10K challenge. I just talked about winning $6,000. So the way you said that, I was like, this man's mocking me.
All right. So for today's trivia, we're going to be doing the 10K challenge. So let me explain what that is. You have a random team wheel spin, and you have 4 positions to fill: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. You are going to get a wheel spin depending on what that team is. You have to take a player from that team or that has ever played for that team and pick a player and their highest yardage season. So for example, we got the 49ers. I could put wide receiver Jerry Rice and take his best season and put it down for my wide receiver. The goal is to get 10,000 yards or at least closest to 10,000 wins. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, I like this.
And like I said, you get quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and it's completely random of who you want and where you can put them.
I do have a question. You already explained
Yes.
this to me, but I forgot to ask when you explained it to me. Are we allowed, because this could be harder because sometimes you don't know, are we allowed to use Google?
No.
Okay. That makes it so you
that's
can't
what
look up a, yeah. So Colin,
You can't look up
hands off the keyboard.
Raiders leading rusher. Like
This man Colin's
franchise.
like, it looks like back in 68, it looks like the
Billy
Raiders.
Cannon
Oh, his
actually.
name, Billy Cannon.
Yes. Okay,
So-
I just wanted to confirm.
Would Billy
so we don't-
Cannon count as a Titan out of curiosity or a Texan? Because he played for Houston, but they became the Titans.
I thought he was a Saint.
No, he went to LSU, so I understand the
The
confusion.
fact you know what teams this man played for, it just worries me. But you can't, but you can't remember almost anything else ever in football. Colin Holmes going to get your NFL now.
Okay, that doesn't answer my question. Which team does he count for?
You
I
can
wouldn't
pick
try-
him for whatever team you want
Bet.
because he ain't the highest you
Bet.
could possibly pick.
I love that answer. That answer's goated. I don't care what you do, but if you pick Billy Cannon, you ain't winning.
So we're gonna start with Colin, and he's gonna get his
Yeah.
first team, and it is spinning. So Colin, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end,
Are you writing them down?
any player from the Titans.
Race. Are you writing them down, Dallas?
I will write them down.
Okay, all right, and then you'll just.
I feel like for the bit, I gotta go Billy Cannon.
Colin, please. Is that your pick?
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Let
Yeah.
that be his pick.
Yeah, fuck it, we ball.
So me and Donnie got a guaranteed silver.
Yep. So I'll look up the yardages in a second. Colin, your next wheel spin, you have quarterback, wide receiver, and tight end remaining. Your team is
I hate this man, Colin.
the Panthers.
It's man, Colin.
Dog, I'm.
Any
Colin
player.
cooked.
Oh,
Honestly,
man.
you got some choices here. Honestly.
I do. Give me Bryce Young, actually. No,
Yeah,
I'm
you
kidding, I'm
said
kidding.
it. Go down. Man, I
Uh,
love Bryce Young.
did Cam have any crazy passing years?
Motherfucker, he's the only person from the Panthers who would have a good passing year.
Right.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck else
I
they
know
got?
Cam won the MVP in 2015, but did he have like a good year? Like, we're being real here.
Well, I mean, he was also a runner, so like,
I get
know.
you, but Cam might be your best option.
I feel like Cam is my best option.
Where did you go, like Devin Funchess or something?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Cam. Give me Cam.
I mean, there's a
Cam.
lot of strategy you can have to this. I mean, Billy Cannon's highest yards probably weren't good. If you picked another bad person and then just like got the Bucks and went like a Brady year, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right? Yeah.
you got most of your yards. That's what I'm. Yeah, it's not bad. Like,
He's
I get
got to
some
bank
better
on you
fucking
and me
teams?
absolutely shitting the bed with teams. With Billy Cannon, that
Yeah, I don't know about that, Billy.
I'm pretty sure Billy Cannon played
personally.
9 games that year. That's how many games they had.
I think
in the
Billy
NFL.
Cannon.
including the
Cannon
championship game.
I think Billy Cannon could give him 200 yards.
All
and
right, so I got
win.
receiver and tight end.
Wide receiver and tight end left. You get a player from the Bengals.
Ooh.
Feel like there's 2 options you have here.
Yeah.
Today.
Shut the fuck up, Marshall.
Sometime today.
Shut the fuck up.
Bro, realistically, there's not enough picks for you to be doing all this.
Yeah,
Like,
seriously.
Yeah.
I literally thought 5 players that I'll pick from those 5.
Yeah, give me
TJ Houshmandzadeh. Shit like that.
there's actually a Michigan State wide receiver that plays for the Bengals right now.
Respectfully fucking pick somebody. Jesus Christ.
I'm already guaranteed an L, so give me Jamar Chase.
Okay.
Gosh.
I'll tell. Yeah,
That was a good pick. Like, it took so long.
Took you so long.
Yeah, Kyle, you're kind of scaring me here. So.
God. Colin's gonna end up with negative yardage somehow.
All right, and then your last spin, you have no choice but to pick a tight end.
Lions, Eric Ebron.
Oh my gosh. What? If it's a
you
line,
You got the Buccaneers.
Buccaneers. Hey, I know it's not great, but he's the only Buccaneers tight end I can think of, like right off the bat. So Rob Gronkowski.
That's a good.
that's
pull.
solid.
That's
That's
a
not
good
that bad.
pull.
Did he have like that great of a year?
I mean, he probably had like a fucking 600-yard year.
He probably had.
You want me to Google player for you, Dallas? Or you want me to
Nope,
Google?
I got it right here.
All right. Well, since I went, I'm really curious about Billy Cannon's stats. So
I'll let you know.
So you just
Billy Cannon's best year was 948 yards.
And that was.
I feel like that could have been worse.
And that was with the Titans, right?
Well, being you could have picked CJ2K, I don't know if that was
That's a good point. That's a good point.
That was the first person I thought of. So,
Bro, that's at 1,100 yards.
Or hear me out, Derek fucking Henry, who just had a
Derrick
2,000
Henry.
yard.
Bro had so many options. with the
Honestly,
Titans.
he was stuck on Billy Cannon.
I was stuck on Billy Cannon.
All right, so I have your total, Colin.
All right.
Between Cam Newton, Billy Cannon, Jamar Chase, and Gronk.
What a roster.
Honestly, if you would have picked Derrick Henry or CJ2K,
I would have been like potentially gonna win.
you had 7,781 yards. Imagine if
Yeah.
you picked a running back with 1,000 rushing yards.
Right? Yeah.
And let me go.
Played
Let
in
me go.
this century.
Let me go.
How many yards did Cam have that year?
Cam had his best year was 4,051 yards, and that was his rookie year.
Wow.
That's crazy.
To be fair, the Superman Cam 2015 was a lot of rushing as well mixed in with that. But that Cam Newton was crazy.
All right,
Isn't
Marshall,
that
you
what I
are
said
up.
when you were like, did he have a good year? I don't know. He won the MVP.
Yeah, but we knew Cam had a good year.
That
I
is
figured
true.
Cam's MVP year probably wasn't like insane, but I fucking still figured he had like at least 4,000, 4,200. Like,
Damn.
All right, my turn.
All right, here we go, Marshall. 10K challenge. You got quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end available. You are getting a player from the Bears.
So not a quarterback.
offensive stats. This is hard as
Yeah.
I mean, there's one person.
Funny
There's one
enough, the funniest stat of all time is the Bears don't have an over, I believe, 4,000 yard passer. I think it is.
Yeah.
Caleb, you can pick Caleb this year. Honestly, is not a bad pull.
Yeah, it's an awful pull.
There's one
Yeah.
surefire.
I think I just gotta go Walter Payton.
Walter Payton. Sweetness.
Better than Billy fucking Cannon. I promise you that.
Me personally, I would have gone Jay Cutler there, but
Jay Cutler.
Nick Color's not a bad pull, I guess.
Nick Color's a great human, but maybe
All
Great
right.
I don't know.
human.
I don't know about that one.
I think it's the opposite.
I think he was a better quarterback than he was a person. But that's just me.
Quarterback, wide receiver, and tight end remaining. You got an Eagles player.
Quarterback, wide receiver, tight end. I've got some options. It's just like quarterback, I could go Randall Cunningham. I could go Donovan McNabb. Vic, I don't believe had that great of a year. It'd definitely be McNabb or Randall Cunningham. Wide receiver, AJ Brown has put up some great years. I don't know if I'm missing anybody. AJ Brown or Donovan McNabb's best year. I know AJ Brown put up like a 1,500-yard season. I'm gonna go AJ Brown.
AJ Brown.
I just don't really know what Randall Cunningham or AJ or Donovan McNabb's best yardage year was.
I feel like you missed a really good player there, Marshall.
What did I miss?
Don't say it in case I get the Eagles.
That's true. I mean, 1 in 32 chance you get the Eagles. I'll save it for the end, like I did.
Just say it. Just say it. Just say it.
Which one? Terrell Owens would have been a good option.
I don't think he had that much more yardage than AJ Brown though. Like maybe 100 or 200. AJ Brown put up, I believe, a 1,500-yard season.
All right.
I wasn't thinking the same.
Quarterback and tight end remaining. You're getting a player from the Bills. Not a good pull, I don't think.
Really?
There's a couple solid players.
Quarterback, tight end.
It's magic.
Yeah.
Do it. Do it. You won't.
Fitzmagic, he just had so many.
Tyrod Taylor.
He just had so many off and on years. It's hard to.
Speed running, how to fucking lose, Jesus Christ!
I'm trying to think of like tight ends. I can't go with like a Dawson Knox. That's just they definitely didn't put up that great of years. I don't know. Maybe they did. Just the quarterbacks is really not, I fuck it. Dawson Knox. I know he's probably got 900 yard season, but I can't think of a. I feel like I get a way better pull at quarterback than the guys that were up there.
I don't know if I would have went Dawson Knox personally.
I couldn't think of a better Bills tight end.
I'm not gonna lie, that's about as crazy as Billy Cannon. I'm not even kidding.
Who wants a tight end? Am I gonna take?
I bet you Billy Cannon has more yards than Dawson Knox.
Well, yeah, he's a running back versus a tight end.
Yeah, but it's a running back from fucking who knows fucking when versus a current tight end.
Marshall with potentially the biggest save at quarterback, the Saints.
Yeah, that's. Let me think about this one. Drew Brees.
That is such a save. I'm not gonna lie.
That is a save and a half potential.
I'm pissed that the universe didn't give me Drew Brees. That's my biggest thing. Billy Cannon and Drew Brees on the same fucking unit.
To be fair, Colin, the way you do trivia, you would have got the Saints and you would have been like, fuck.
No, I was hoping for the Saints so I could make a Drew Brees joke.
You would have said Archie Manning or some shit. You would have not.
Honestly, I thought about saying it just now.
This man would have said Spencer Rattler.
Jameis Winston.
Not a bad pull.
Teddy Bridgewater, actually.
We're trying to go for the lowest amount of yards. Yeah, that's not a bad pull.
The totals are in. With the team of Drew Brees, Walter Payton, AJ Brown, and Dawson Knox, the total yardage comes to 9,140 yards.
You guys, and you guys will say the Dawson Knox pick was a bad pick. Explain, because I wasn't going to find a Bills quarterback that was that amazing, and especially since I just pulled Drew Brees. So Dawson Knox
I mean-
couldn't have been that bad of a bowl. Who's a better Bills tight end?
I was gonna say, in hindsight,
I
if
was
you
gonna
would have
say
picked
Bills tight
Josh
end.
Allen at quarterback, and if
Exactly.
you would have gotten Saints, you could have put like a Jimmy Graham.
But
Like,
here's my
in
thing.
hindsight.
Josh Allen's best season, I don't think
It was
Josh's
45.
I would say Josh's best year, it was a risk of like 600 yards, which like yeah, whatever. But I would have taken personally. I would have taken Josh and then tried because the biggest variance on tight end might be like 300 yards. The biggest variance on quarterback could have literally been like 2,000 yards. You know what I mean? If you would have
Yeah.
somehow like got the Bears for quarterback. But either way, not bad.
What was I, 9,000 something?
9,140 yards.
Guys, I don't think I got this one.
Oh, really? I could have told you that at Billy Cannon.
Hey, dude. So, are we trying to get to the closest to 10,000 without going over, or is it closest to 10,000
If-
period?
It's
Closest
the
to
highest you can
10,000.
get, to be
Yeah,
fair.
10,000 is probably the hardest one, like to get.
It's just
like-
as high as you can get.
Like I did a test run with Marshall, and I barely got to 9,900, and I had 3 of the best pulls you can get. So with that being said, Donnie, you're up first. You got a quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end for your 10K challenge. Your player has to come from the Saints. I feel like this is surefire.
So while he makes us pick Dallas, I wanted to look it up. AJ Brown has the most receiving yards. He's the 1 and 2 receiving yards in the season by an Eagle. He has 1,496 and 1,456. Third in most receiving yards in the season is M. Quick, whoever that is.
But what did Terrell Owens do for like the 49ers or the?
But see, that's what I thought. I thought it had to be the years they played for that team.
That was how I interpreted it too.
Well, you said Gronk, and I gave you his best. I was giving everyone their best year from a player.
Oh well, so I should have
I
been
did not
even
know
worse.
that. I am
Which, to
very
be
happy knowing
fair-
that going forward.
Which, to be
Wow.
fair, Marshall, to be fair, AJ Brown still has a better season than. Terrell.
I didn't know it was. I thought it was the best season that they put up on that.
I'm not gonna
team.
lie. When you first started this, I thought we were gonna have to pick like player and year, like Jerry Rice on the Niners in 1987. That's how I thought you were going.
I was just gonna pick
God,
their
no.
best year because this is so hard. It's such a hard challenge.
That's helping me out. Thanks, Dallas.
But I assume, Donnie, you're taking Drew Brees, right?
Yeah, I was thinking to maybe not, just because like Marshall
Oh,
literally just picked him. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Drew Brees. I was gonna do it just for the skip, but I feel like I have to.
Who else could you have gone? Did you have anyone else on mind?
I was thinking, I think tight end's so hard. I was gonna say Jimmy Graham. It's not. I mean, you could go with a wide receiver, but maybe Michael Thomas. But like, I don't know what his best yardage year was. I at least know like what Breeze's best yardage year is.
All right, quarterback out of the way. We got running back, wide receiver, and tight end. And you get a player from the Titans.
This man won. This man wins.
Give me Derrick Henry.
This man won.
Like I said, it's still possible. He could have a
No
Well, if I
Billy
get-
Cannon, man. No
If
Billy
I get
Cannon.
2 shit picks, it's very possible.
This man's gonna win.
Like I said, I had three out of 4 bangers, but that 4th one sold me.
I need at least one of these 2 good teams to be decent history wise.
All right. Wide receiver and tight end remaining. A player from the Rams.
This man won. It's GG's. Just wrap it up. Put the stuff in the van and let's go home. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. I'm not sure. There
This
might
man Colin's so bad. He's bad.
there might be somebody higher, but I doubt it. I'm gonna go with Cooper Kupp.
Somebody higher. He's the second most receiving yards in NFL history. What
Oh, is he actually? Yeah, I wasn't
in the
thinking.
season? It's Calvin. Is the only guy above him.
Well, I was thinking like Torrey Holt and those guys. I was like, well, I know they were pretty high up, but yeah, you're right. I forgot he has the second most ever.
Bro's at 9,000, I believe, right now. Bro's got to just get.
No, I'm just short of 9,000. I should be at
No,
like
because
8.
Breeze had a little bit above 5,000, and Derrick Henry had a little bit above 2,000, and Cup had a little.
Derrick Henry puts me at just over 7,000, and then he didn't even have 2,000. So I'm at probably about 8,900 or 9,000.
You're at 9,000. You're at 9,000.
And for your tight end,
at least a solid. If I get a shitty tight end,
has to come from the Texans.
oh, see, god damn it.
Yeah, but you beat me.
I don't know if I pick a bad tight end. I don't think I did.
But you beat me.
Yeah. Is it bad?
Also, I know this is spoiling Dallas's like his reveal, but you said you might be at 89. I don't think you realize Breeze's best season was 5,400 yards.
So I'll let you know, Donnie. You have to pick a tight end to have 900 receiving yards in a season to break 10K.
To break 10K?
To hit 10K. You basically.
I thought you were about to say to beat Marshall. I was like, there's no fucking way.
You did beat Marshall by 39 yards already.
I just mailed in.
Can you get a Texans tight end to give you 900?
I'm trying to think of any guy that's had a good career that's just like played there for a minute. Kind of circumnavigate the rules a little bit there. But to be honest with you, I can't really remember a good tight end for the Texans, period.
Oh, never mind. Bro fucking sucked.
It was the Texans.
I thought of a guy and I was like, he might be it. Bro was ass cheeks. I'm going to just say it because if you pick him, you deserve to lose. Fucking Darren Fells. This man sucked donkey.
I thought of like 3 tight ends immediately. He was one of the 3 that I thought of, but I would.
He was ass.
Man, I need 900 yards. That really fucking. The guy that I'm thinking of, I know is up there, but I don't think it's going to beat 900 yards. Damn. I don't think anybody really. Yeah. This guy probably isn't going to give me to 10K, but I can't think of anybody back in the day that was really good. Give me Dalton Schultz there. I know he's probably had like a 700-yard year, but I would be shocked if he had.
Just gonna barely miss it.
He probably had like an 800-yard year for the Cowboys, didn't he?
See, 808.
So I'm gonna be 90 yards off, 80 yards off.
Let's see.
Marshall, why are you doing
Donnie?
5,400 yards.
Donnie's final yardage with the team of Drew Brees, Derrick Henry, Cooper Kupp, and Dalton Schultz. 9,987 yards.
Damn.
The 10K challenge, man.
You realize how hard that he basically. Well, to be fair, Dalton Schultz is like not that good, but he picked the second best quarterback season of all in yards of all time. The obviously like a 2,000-yard season from a running back, and then the second best wide receiver season of all time. Obviously, the tight end sold him. If you would have got Gronk, if you would have got Jimmy Graham, or there's somebody.
I'm trying to look up like who is.
Oh, I looked up Titans tight ends there.
Oh my god, I could have won it. To be fair, I would have never pulled that guy. No.
What's his name?
Well, I'm trying to see how many guys I could have guessed. This guy.
Where did this man Colin just decided not to come back?
So I just looked up, and in like the very first article, it's top 5 tight ends in Houston Texans history. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, never mind. This one, the first one, it says he had 100. He caught 100 passes for 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. I was like, that's pretty good. That's his season. So never mind, or not his season. That's his.
This man, Colin, it kicked me out, but we were wrapping up anyway, so I just figured I'd stay off. This is the same man that works for a fucking news company and works on TV. Bro, what if the news just cut up? I just thought I'd call it a day.
Some of the names that popped up that I could have picked. This guy, Garrett Graham, he's the one who had 1,000 yards across a couple of seasons. Jordan Atkins, his best year looks like it was 53 catches for 643.
But a little worse than Dalton Schultz.
I remember this guy from Madden. I'm gonna butcher his name. CJ Fedorowicz. In his career, he had 90 catches for 880 yards. So not that good. Joel Dreesen. Not really.
Oh, the legend, Joel Dreesen.
It's so tough.
The best one that I could have picked to get me there. And it doesn't say a single yardage, but he had 4,600 yards in his 8-year career. Is Owen Daniels.
Oh, I looked his up. Dalton Schultz had a better year.
That's what Dalton Schultz. The last year he was on the Cowboys had to have had a better year than all those guys. Dude, there's like no names that come up. Owen Daniels, Garrett Graham, Joel Dreesen, Darren Fells, Ryan Griffin, James Cade.
Doesn't help the team hasn't been around that long.
That's what I'm saying. Because I was trying to think of like when they first were a franchise, I was like, there was nobody really good. Because like there was good tight ends back then, like Kevin Boss and all them dudes for like the Giants and shit. Yeah, I feel like I made the best pick. He has to have had the most yards. But yeah, that's a pitch. How many yards did CJ2K have his 2K year?
2006. And Derrick Henry 2027.
Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking like, did CJ2K have like 2,100? And I was just, that's what got me. Damn. Well, I think I picked the best at each position, at least. Like, the best I could have in each spot.
Honestly, because when I did the test run with Marshall, I got Stafford, Jim Brown, Calvin Johnson, and then it came down to the tight end. It landed on Steelers, and the best I could pull was Heath Miller. And I was like 30 yards off.
10,000, I feel like, isn't, like, insanely hard, though. Like...
It's just all one pick that's going to screw you.
Because it's the random team wheel.
Well, that is it for the podcast. Obviously, Colin gave himself an early exit.
I should have done fucking... I should have done Jimmy Graham for the Saints, and then I could have got the Rams, and I could have done Stafford.
You didn't get the Rams, did you? Oh, yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Yeah, but then my wide receiver would have sucked, so I guess.
Yeah.
I could have done Stephon Diggs, though.
Yeah, his best season's only like 1,500 yards.
Yeah, but if I could have added 500 yards from a tight end, like that would have helped out a lot.
Yeah, but you would have gotten 400 yards less from a quarterback. So, because Drew Brees' best season was 5,400 yards. Stafford's was like 5,000 something.
I know his was like 5,001. Something.
No, I don't think. But I think it was 5,000.
Either way.
I think I know Stafford better than you. Come on, man.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
But thank you guys for watching. Colin obviously gave himself an early exit. That's our host, by the way. So kind of wild. But this man Colin also works on TV. Only one of us that works on TV. So appreciate
episode's 50.
It is episode 50. Oh shit! So we're gonna have like a 6-hour-long episode, or what are we doing?
We're gonna have the Hall of Fame inductee.
There
segment.
it is. Let's go. Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
Did you say that once?
Next week.
Next week, 50? Yep. We need to get on it so we can record a little bit longer if we're gonna do all this extra bullshit.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. Yep. But appreciate you guys for watching. We will see you guys next week for episode 50. Thank you guys if you do watch the couple viewers that we probably have seen our podcast. But hey, we do it for the love of football and just because we want to.
All 5 of you.
So
all 5 of you that's kept up for 50 episodes.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. We will see you guys in week 15. And peace.
Go Juan Soto.
Fuck!